Salutations, it's George from Ireland. I hope I'm not too dark in here. Maybe angle it this way. Anyway, so this video is about Trump's chances of being re-elected in 2020. Is he going to be a two-term president? I suppose I'll cut to the chase and say I slightly think he's not. I give him only a 45% chance of being re-elected. Seems like it's hedging it. Now, on the face of it, he'd have a 75% chance of being re-elected because that's how often sitting presidents are re-elected. The other thing you'd have to look at is the economy growing? And yes, at the moment it is. So there are no calamities on the domestic scene. Obviously, healthcare continues to become more unaffordable. Third level education continues to be more unaffordable. The deficit's being let rip. But these are just kind of the ordinary problems which have been getting worse every year for quite a few years, particularly under Republicans, and got the situation where the majority of Americans don't have $500 in the bank for an emergency expense, and on and on. So cost of living remains a problem. Wages are scarcely growing. So is the economy growing? Well, yes, it is for the top, say, 10%. For most of the rest of the people, it's not, or is even getting worse. So look at the opinion polls. He's 9 percentage points behind. 42% approve, about 51% disapprove. Obviously, there's some people who just don't say, depending on which poll you look at. And of course, it shifts from day to day because this is something which is fluid. And now, all those who disapprove, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll vote against him. They might not vote at won't necessarily vote for his major opponent, might vote for a minor party, the Green Party, the Reform Party, or whoever, the Libertarian Party. An independent, but hello there, not just for the top, less people, that's fewer people on food stamps than under Obama. Not then under Obama. I didn't know that. Well, isn't that because they just cut the amount of money that they're spending on it, and made fewer people eligible? Which is what they tend to do. So more jobs than ever. Well, that's because the population has grown. So there are almost always more jobs than ever. You see what a dramatic improvement the economy made under President Obama. And I know the Republican way of explaining this away is saying, yes, but he spent on a huge stimulus package. Well, that still counts. Well, why don't you do that? Instead of tax cuts for billionaires, the deficit is going up. How much is it? Is it $300 billion per annum? And imagine what you could do with that. Imagine that you spent that on healthcare for ordinary people, or education, or improving the roads, or even the military. I'm not a militarist myself, but that would create some jobs, or paying off the national debt, or income support for the neediest people, things like that. Anyway, Trump, well, he's promised lenity for some of his accomplices. And there's never been a president who's had so many of his close associates incarcerated. But so far, he hasn't delivered on this one and issued pardons. So will they squeal? Will they implicate him? We'll see. So obviously, his loyalty is strictly one way. He demands sort of unstinting loyalty from others, but don't expect any back towards you. It's a one-way street. So you'll be thrown under the bus. So he's a bit like a Meghan Markle, really, that you are to be used and abused. You'll be cast aside. So if he can't utilize you any further, once he's exploited you, that's it. He'll sucked all the blood out of you as the leech he is. He'll drop off. So is it 10,000 lies now, according to the Washington Post? Lies and or misleading statements, he said, on the record in public. So many mendacious utterances from this utterly dishonest president. The better candidates were just about any candidate. Put it this way, of all the people who've tried to get the Democratic nomination, I can't think of a single one who's worse. I don't know of anyone in American politics or America ever who's ever been more dishonest than Trump, who's been more unhinged, more foul-mouthed, more volatile, more moronic, and really more of a disgrace. Anyone in American politics. Look at his record of broken promises. So he has not withdrawn from Syria. He has not withdrawn from Iraq. He has not withdrawn from Afghanistan. He has not won the trade war, which was meant to be good, meant to be easy to win. He has not built a border wall. He doesn't even say there's going to be a border wall. There's going to be a border fence. Remember, he was quite specific in 2016. It would not be a fence. It would be a wall. When Jeb Bush suggested it might be a fence, he said, nope, it'll be a wall. Obviously, Mexico has pledged not to pay a single peso towards it. Remember, he vowed that Mexico would pay for it. And Congress did not vote that money. He took it away from the military. So much for strengthening the military. He's been undermining it by misusing it. He has not helped fund Medicare. He has not helped fund Medicaid. I know that's obviously up to Congress. They have the power of the purse, but his budget that he proposed was all about slashing that. So taking away free medical care from children just to make some billionaires even richer. It's hard to think of a more pernicious policy. So he said Americans would be tired of winning. Well, I don't think they're tired of winning. They haven't really started in all these conflicts. So I know, but he's going to withdraw from Iraq, and he's not done it. He's still there. Will he withdraw by election day? I don't know. It remains to be seen. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could punch him, because he's broken so many other promises. It's a bit like Trump University being a university. I remember a Trumpster crossed swords with me on this one and said, that's like saying that Mike Jordan is responsible for Air Jordan shoes. Of course he's not, even though he endorses it. Well, the thing is, these Air Jordan shoes were actual shoes, where Trump University was not a university. How on earth is this scumbag not banged up? He ought to be serving the rest of his life for fraud on such a gross scale. It is staggering and nauseating, part of a wider malaise in America where the super rich seem to get away with it most of the time, Harvey Weinstein being a rare exception. Remember, he was going to bring back far worse than waterboarding. Well, he hasn't delivered on that one, I'm pleased to say. Remember, North Korea was going to bend to his will, and they haven't. They're testing missiles this week. So there he went to kiss ass to Kim Jong-un. He praises these vicious tyrants effusively, and yet he rails against stalwart American allies, is grossly and childishly insulting about Canada, France, the United Kingdom, and so forth. Remember Iran, and they're actually closer to nuclear weapons than ever before, closer than they were under Obama. Well, Trump steaks, I don't doubt they were steaks, actually. It's one of the few products he's told that did what it said it was. Remember, he's going to bring back all those jobs from before. Manufacturing jobs, have any come back? Any at all? Not that I'm aware of. And he had his own products made overseas. If he really wanted to support the American proletariat, he could have had these things made in the United States. Anyway, so about Iran, because they've enriched uranium, so his policy has clearly failed. The Iranians said, if you're going to shred the deal, we're going to shred the deal. We are releasing our obligations because we honored it punctiliously, and you reneged on this solemn agreement. Therefore, we are free from our undertakings, and we're going to enrich uranium. So he has not got them to withdraw from Syria. He's not got them to withdraw support from the Houthi rebels in Yemen. So in his own terms, an ignominious failure. Remember buying Greenland? Remember how that worked out? Where did that come from? A brain fart as usual? Whoever said it was for sale? Anyway, what about the people who live there? Do their wishes count at all? Probably not in Trump's word. He thinks, well, the thing's all real estate. I'm actually impressed he's even heard of Greenland. So party asperity is more severe than ever, but that probably redounds to his advantage. Now, coronavirus has reared its ugly head in a major way the last 6 weeks or so. Now, this could go either way. On the one hand, it's driving down the stock market, and he used that as a litmus test of his success. Okay, but by that rationale, Obama was an outstanding president. He didn't hear him heaping praise on Obama. And Obama, I think, has rightly remained reticent on this issue, because if he were to be more voluble, that probably only play into Trump's hands. No, I don't think he'll be re-elected, but I think he's got quite a good chance. I think it's a little bit more likely that he'll lose. So the economy is slowing down. It might even move into recession. However, it opens up a golden opportunity for him of a fine line in xenophobic rhetoric. So he could try to appeal to anti-Chinese antipathy. Okay, so it depends on who the candidates are against him. I'm going to ring off now. So please support me on PayPal and subscribe to my channel. Goodbye, everybody.